KTN, I am Ann Kiguta. Tonight, KTN senior investigative reporter Dennis Onsarigo brings you the story of a massive drug haul, a cover-up, and the silencing for good of 5 police officers who are just trying to do their job. The Untouchables Part 2 starts now.
At the time, Stanley Murage was the special advisor to the president on strategy. State House has since denied meeting the 2 dubious characters who had claimed they were invited to State House for a meeting.
I therefore take great exception to a story appearing in today's edition of the Sunday Nation, insinuating that there are links between my family and 2 foreigners who were recently deported from the country.
When he appeared before a parliamentary committee investigating their 2 brothers, the special advisor to the president denied knowledge of meeting the 2 dubious brothers in meetings at State House. Stanley Murage, the special advisor, claims their tour saga was bigger than his office. Murage declined to meet us for a formal television interview.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Murage, how are you?
Mr. Murage speaking. How are you?
Mzuri sana.
Good. Paul, I'm not back in the office.
Yes.
I'm operating from a different office.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least I'm glad to meet you. I've seen some of your stories on KTN.
Yes.
And I like them. I like your investigations.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Now,
so what can I help you with?
Now, apparently, one of my investigations is touches on you.
Mm-hmm.
It is in regard to Armenian or the infamous Artur Brothers.
Yes.
Yes, and I had a few questions to ask you. What was your role in the entire thing? Did you offer them protection? Did you oversee their stay here? Did you facilitate their movement?
I'm not able to comment on that, Dennis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you been in contact with the Artur Brothers since they left the country, Mr. Murage?
I'm not. I've never been.
Did they call you immediately after they landed in Dubai, asking you to facilitate how they'll get their passport that was left behind, Mr. Murage?
No, not to my knowledge, to be honest, no.
Did you provide them 2 or 4 presidential escort unit officers to guard them?
Of course not. I am not able to. You recall the response given by the late John Michuki.
Yes.
I think that the best way you can get helped is to inquire from the minister, because you can inquire from the Minister for Security. Because personally, I cannot give you the views other than the views that I have, which are in public.
But
yes.
But Waziri at that particular time, God rest his soul in eternal peace, at that particular time Waziri did he say the government was aware about this raid, and then you came up and said, and you're on record saying that the president was not aware, but you appeared before the Committee on Administration and Justice and you said the president was not aware. I mean, these are 2 contradicting statements from...
That was my knowledge. That was my view. Yeah? That was my view.
I mean, your view meaning that was government speaking?
No, that was my view. I was there as an individual.
No, Mr. Murage, you were there as special advisor to the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah, and I gave a view. Yes?
Your view should be taken as a view, or your view should be taken as a fact?
My view should be taken as a view. Maybe what you should do is you try one of these days. When after a week or so, we can try and see whether we can meet sometime.
Yes.
And I could clarify some things that I'm not able to clarify on this line.
Fine. That's what.
I mean, for you, what you're looking for is something impossible to get.
Elements in the government fighting condemnation over the Standard Media Group raid hurriedly arranged a press conference for the 2 Armenian brothers. The plan was simple: to assure the public the 2 were not in the country during that raid, and to deal with the political class critical of the government action. A man identified as Julius Minor, who claimed to be from State House, requested a duty officer at the most secure airport facility to arrange for a media press conference for the Artur brothers who were arriving from Dubai. The official had already received instructions from the Kenya Airport Authority Deputy Managing Director Naomi Sidi. At the time, Artur Margarian sat comfortably in the first-class lounge at the airport with one woman. Julius Minor, the man who had claimed to be an official from State House, then instructed a junior officer to stage manage the arrival of Artur Margarian and Artur Sargassian. The two men went ahead to lay blame on the opposition leader in sensational claims.
Trying to make us enemy of the Kenya. For what?
Mercenary. Your budget is not enough, your country budget is not enough to hire us.
Apart from Artur Sargassian, who arrived in the country that morning, his brother Artur Margarian was never on that flight. The two were playing for the cameras and buying time for the crimes they had committed in the country. The presence of only one Artur brother confirmed the fears of many that foreigners took part in the standard raid a few days earlier. The Artur brothers and their associates had direct access to the country's airports, the passes allowing them to access all areas of the airport, including aprons and launches, indicated that tours could get in and out of the airport at will. Whatever they did with the coveted privileges of accessing high security areas remains just that, a mystery.
These two gentlemen were driven in two GK vehicles with two outriders. And they were escorted to the airport like head to street. They entered the airport through the first gate before Terminal 1. That's how they entered the airport inside. Now the statement that was read to the press there was prepared in Madam Naomi Sidi's office.
For the 3 months they were in the country before their deportation, the brothers committed several acts that only pointed to official laxity and powerful connections within government circles. As the government publicly denied the presence of the mercenaries in the country, quietly they commenced investigations by first doing a background check on the two brothers. On the 15th of March 2006, 2 weeks after the raid at the Standard newspapers, the Kenya Interpol Police Section wrote a letter to Interpol Armenia requesting information about the nationality, occupation and whereabouts of the two Artur brothers. 3 days later, the Armenian government wrote back. Artur Margarian, the Armenian police said, was an imposter, using a passport of one Artur Margarian that was reported lost and replaced. The owner of the passport was a tax collector. Artur Sargassian, according to the Department of General Combat Against Organized Crime, had left Armenia a long time ago for United Arab Emirates for permanent residence. Sargassian was wanted back in Armenia for evading military training. Despite this serious information, the Kenyan police were not moved. The alleged brothers settled in Kenya and kicked off several criminal activities. This is what the dubious brothers did in the country for a straight 3 months. Way before the Artur brothers came into the country, it appears someone somewhere was laying the ground for their arrival. As early as the 17th of October 2005, the foundation for the eventual arrival was being laid. Artur Margarian and Artur Sargassian had been issued with personal identification numbers PIN, a preserve for Kenyan citizens only. Artur Margarian's PIN number was A003513349R, while that of Artur Sargassian was A00353357. When they flew into the country, they did not go through immigration like other visitors. Instead, passports with false names were presented to immigration officials and cleared without any details being entered into the PCs. The computerized identification system used to track who enters and leaves the country. 2 months after their arrival in the country on the 18th of January 2006, the two applied for work permits as directors of Brotherlink International Limited. The directors of the company were Artur Margarian, Artur Sargassian and Mohammed Zakir Omer. The application forms were sent to the National Security Intelligence Services for general vetting and indexing. The spy agency cleared the two and the company. The following day, an interministerial committee approved the application. This process moved much faster than normal. What is shocking, the two were listed as Kenyan nationals. Why will a government issue work permits to Kenyans? Why will the National Security Intelligence Services clear the dubious brothers to run business in Kenya, and yet the spy agents knew the two were not Kenyan nationals? The forms were not signed, with critical details such as bank statements not certified. The brothers registered yet another company, Kingston Holdings Limited, using the same name as another company that had been registered in 2004. The directors, Artur Sargassian, Artur Margarian, Julius Minor, Alois Omita, and Winfred Wangoi. The business they were involved in ranged from importation and export of goods, real estate, among other undertakings, but the group exploited their influence and power to engage in criminal acts. It is the importation of containers, undervaluing the containers, and the declaration of goods that now raises serious eyebrows of the contents of the goods their two brothers were engaged in importing. Between February and April 2006, their two brothers, using Brotherlink and Kingston Holdings companies, imported a total of 7 containers. The containers contained assorted goods, mostly electronics. Most of the containers had goods valued at less than 7 million Kenya shillings. On the 14th of March 2006, Kingston Holdings imported 2 containers, CLHU 8544548 and FSCU 6078480. The cargo in the containers was 884 pieces of radio cassettes. The quantity of the packages was not verified, but the value was placed at 1 million shillings. The containers left the port of Mombasa for a bonded warehouse in Nairobi. The containers will, however, disappear en route to the warehouse. The inside story has now established that the 2 containers were loaded onto 2 lorries, namely KAG 813P and KAM 238F. The goods, some in gunny bags, were later offloaded by 2 men of Asian origin at Alpha Center along Mombasa Road. Records of the Kenya Revenue Authority indicate Rabbit Kit Services was responsible for the clearing of the goods. The motor vehicle KAG 813P is blue in color and is owned by Infizel Transport Services, and the KAM 238F is a lorry, green cream in color, and owned by Juani Impex Enterprises in Mombasa. The 2 truck owners were never questioned. Investigations by the inside story now reveal that the company Marketing Bureau Services cleared the containers. A further search revealed that the company was owned by Real Estate, a company associated with Raju Sangani, the man who first brought their 2 brothers into Kenya. 6 other containers were either declared or undervalued, and some were detained at the port of Mombasa, but somehow they found their way out of the port. The inside story has now established their 2 brothers and their associates imported other containers which they will leave unclaimed at the port of Mombasa. The port official will then hand them over to the police, and they will then disappear with the goods. Artur Margarian and his brother were, after all, very senior police officers. As the 2 brothers and their local handlers continued evading paying taxes, their local connections were running deep. On the 26th of April 2006, the National Security Advisory Council met to discuss the activities of their 2 brothers. The National Security Intelligence Services told the council that the 2 brothers had shown characteristics consistent with people involved in drug trafficking. NSIS recommended to the council that their 2 brothers be deported, as their continued stay in the country will malign the good name of the country. The members of the council included the former head of the Civil Service, Ambassador Francis Mudhaura, as the chairman, the Director General of the National Security Intelligence Services, Major General Michael Gishangi, the then Commissioner of Police, Major General Mohammed Hussein Ali, the then Attorney General M. Muswako, the then Internal Security Permanent Secretary, Cyrus Gitwai. Despite such a serious warning, nothing was done. Their two brothers were left free to run their dubious errands in town as government agents just watched. Little was known to the public then that the two brothers had been appointed as senior police officers by the Kenyan government. Artur Margarian and Artur Sargasian had been appointed as Deputy Commissioner of Police. Shifana, a lady friend of the Arturs, was appointed a Chief Inspector of Police. The two bodyguards were also appointed junior police officers, but the brothers, it appeared, needed more than police ranks. On the second day of May 2006, someone was working hard to have the two Armenian brothers attain Kenyan passports. James Gitonga and immigration officials at Nyayo House reported he had removed blank passports from a fireproof cabinet and placed them on his desk. The blank passports, according to him, were for issuance to potential applicants. Gitonga later claimed 3 of the passports were stolen. A cleaner who was earlier in the room was summoned and confessed to have stolen the 3 of the 5 passports. The passport stolen A103-1194, A103-1195 and A103-1196 were allegedly sold to a man of Somali origin by Beatrice Akoth, the cleaner who had confessed into stealing them. The passports later changed hands and were the property of the two Armenian brothers. The cleaner could later claim she could not remember the person she had sold the passport to. Each passport was sold at a paltry 250 shillings. Somehow the passports got to the hands of their two brothers. One of the passports, number A1031195, was given to Arthur Sarkasian, and passport number A1031194 became the property of Arthur Sarkasian. The names were those of Artur Margarian and Artur Sargasian. The file numbers assigned to the passports were those of 2 Kenyans. How the brothers were able to obtain passports assigned to existing immigration files raised more questions than answers. But here is the reason why. Despite Beatrice Akoth, the cleaner, the center of the theft, confessing stealing the passports, her case before a Nairobi court dragged on for more than a year. On the 2nd of March 2007, the case was withdrawn by the state due to lack of evidence. The case was, however, later consolidated with that of Yaya Kiai Gitonga. After some time, the case was dismissed due to lack of evidence. The laxity manner in which the state handled the case demonstrated complicity on the part of immigration officials. James Gitonga could not explain how the blank passports under his watch ended up in the hands of their two brothers.
One, and especially myself, I had no reason to believe that anything in that sensitive place could get lost.
After initially being suspended, James Gitonga was quietly reinstated. The two brothers had a field day, playing for the cameras, hosting who is who in the city in lavish parties. Traveling in and out of the country became a norm for their two brothers. What is shocking, however, the traveling was captured by airport security. The notorious traveler was Artur Margarian, who traveled on multiple passports, but no one dared ask him questions. Artur Margarian and his brother had more than 3 passports each, but it was Artur Margarian who was a frequent traveler. The immigration department at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport had installed as pieces a computer system that captures the movement of passengers into and away from the JKIA. The personal identification and secure comparison and evaluation system captured details of their two brothers and 3 of their associates, but points to blatant laxity on the part of airport security. Artur Sargasian first came to Kenya on the 10th of November 2005, but his name was not captured in the most advanced security system. Artur had instead traveled on a Russian passport with the name of Arthur Jevokian. Artur Margarian and his associates became bolder in their activities, roughing up people, driven around in government vehicles, sometimes fitted with police sirens. At the time, there was a quiet, growing concern within the rank and file of the police force. The then Commissioner of Police, Hussein Ali, and the Director of Criminal Investigation Department, Joseph Kamau, were not getting along well. The Commissioner of Police was apparently kept in the dark about the Standard raid on the Standard newspapers. Attempts to arrest the two brothers became a tall order for the Commissioner of Police.
He's outside now.
Take the pictures, take this guy's picture. They are hired. Why you come here? You have any warrant? Where is your warrant? Who pay you to come here? Ask them the warrant. Ask them how much they pay to come here.
Who was this person who could overrule the Commissioner of Police directive? On the 8th of June 2006, months after the two dubious brothers had drafted up people stolen from motorists at gunpoint, imported several containers of goods, they staged a dramatic scene at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. A scene that exposed how unsafe an international airport could be. A major government installation. This woman, the daughter of Mary Wamboi, Winfred Wangoi, called this man, Paul Letoya, a protocol officer at the airport several times, informing him that very important guests were arriving from Dubai. The guests needed VIP treatment.
Now, every time you kept on reading your statement, she again called me, she again called me. If it was only 2 times, why the use of she again called me, she again called me? Please answer the question.
Come again, my lord.
How many times did she in fact call you?
Several times, my lord.
At the time, Artur Margarian had arrived at the airport with one of his personal bodyguard, a short white lady. Because the two had passes allowing them to access all points at the airport, they headed straight to the duty-free lounge.
Walitumia Subaru. Mimi nikaambiwa naenda nichukue hiyo Mercedes GK A33G. GK A33G. Nikaambiwa niende nichukue nilete nilikuwa nimeambiwa nilete kwa radio. Na hiyo GK namba mimi ndio nilifix Spring Valley petrol station. I don't know ilikuwa inawekwa GK namba ya mambo gani. So wakati nilifika hapa Mombasa Road kwenda kufungua kwa hii nini, nikapata kuna bunduki choza pistol, lakini nyingi zile zilikuwa zinabebwa kwa hiyo gari zilikuwa AK47 mingi. Gari moja ingekosa bunduki 2 ama 3.
At about 20 minutes past 7 that evening, flight number EK721 from United Arab Emirates touched down at the JKIA. The visitors on board that flight were Arman Mohammed Gureni, Manish Shador, Bob and Arthur Jevokian. This was Artur Sargassian, the soft-spoken Artur, wanted back in Armenia for evading military training, now traveling not on an Armenian passport but on a Russian one. The important visitors did not accompany Paul Letoya as he embarked on the process of having them cleared. The visitors, the protocol officer claims, stayed at the duty-free lounge area, but the inside story has since learned they were accommodated at the VIP lounge as Letoya facilitated their clearance at the immigration and customs exit points.
After the flight had arrived, how many people did you find?
I found Artur Magarian.
Yes.
Artur Sargassian.
Yes.
And they were in a company of other 3. Because the men, they all sat in one, they were seated on one table.
Yes.
And I think they were, if I'm not wrong, they were 5, my lord.
The visitors had luggage that contained, among other things, CCTV cameras. When reaching the customs desk at the luggage area, customs officials demanded to see the owners of the goods before they could be cleared. It was at this point that Artur Margarian, now agitated, came storming the baggage area, demanding that the goods be cleared. Artur Brothers, and a white man also came back. The bodyguard was instructed to pack the bags. When the customs officials tried to protest, they were punched and shoved aside before the two drew pistols, forcing the officers to scamper for safety. They then left the airport through Unit 1, that is not used for arrivals. What this meant, their two brothers could arrive in the country with goods, exit without the same being subjected to customs and immigration officials. The fact that the two of them had access to all major exit and entry points at the airport meant their tours could sneak in anything into the airport and out the most secured areas in the country. The scene at the airport was the last one. The then Criminal Investigations Director, Joseph Kamau, and other top government officials were suspended from the office.
Do you feel that you became victims of circumstance and you were thrown out of the country? Did you feel that the Kenyan government not keep part of its deal or bargain?
Yeah, of course, Kenyan government don't follow any of the deal. They don't even follow any of their promises.
The Untouchables, their tour connection continues. Onsarigo for the Inside Story.
Thank you for all your feedback.